A developer and publisher I've criminally neglected in my life as a video game player, consumer, and general human being is Atlus. Most recently, I've been getting into the Persona series. I started in the reverse order, but the fantastical Persona 4 Golden consumed my life for a while just recently. But my first game by the Atlus Persona team wasn't actually a Persona game at all. Instead, it was a game I borrowed from my brother while I was still in college. The sexy and horrific Catherine.
Catherine!
Catherine is, for all intents and purposes, a puzzle game. Boiled down to its base elements, that's what it is, and it's a difficult one at that. But the storyline, design, presentation, and charm the crew at Atlus threw into this game really helps set it apart beautifully from any other puzzle game you've ever played. It just might not be a game you'd ever want your grandparents to see sitting on the shelf when they come over for the holidays. Trust me on that one. Vincent Brooks is a 32-year-old engineer feeling pressured from his longtime girlfriend Catherine to tie the knot. Vincent, however, is rather content with keeping things the way that they are. He's comfortable in the life that he's living in the moment right now.
It's not that. I love her, but I don't think we need to run out and get married. You know, it's like we're comfortable where we are. Are you?
He enjoys drinking at the bar with his friends, Toby, Orlando, and Johnny, and keeping things the same. His friends are a colorful cast, and one of the things I enjoy about Catherine was the interactions between Vincent and his friends.
All that stuff about soulmates and eternal love is bullshit. Married life sucks, man. You really want to go through the same shit I have?
I'm not like you. I don't want to sleep around. I just want life to stay the same.
All the characters really do feel believable and realistic, at least in the main cast, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. Life for Vincent seems decent, but it also has a way of throwing a wrench into the gears every so often. For Vincent, that's when he meets a woman who seems to understand his plight, and equipped with her perky, personality, she changes everything for him. And her name? It's Catherine too.
It is?
You haven't called me by my name before, have you?
Your name? Catherine?
Just before and after cheating on his girlfriend, Vincent begins to experience terrible nightmares where he must scale a huge tower of blocks with a herd of sheep. However, upon awakening, he can't remember this dream to its entirety. That's when things get a little creepy, with talk of dying in dreams and a recent string of people around the city being discovered dead in the morning.
Yeah, the mystery death on the news? That was him.
Holy shit, no way!
Maybe we'll all wind up dead tomorrow too.
Shut the hell up.
These nightmares make up the majority of the gameplay in Catherine. Players control Vincent and guide him up the impossibly large tower, pulling, pushing, and hanging off blocks in order to construct a path upwards. The blocks in this hellscape can hang off each other's edges, which opens the door to all kinds of different techniques and strategies for scaling the tower. The idea is to always be moving upwards, since the tower is also constantly collapsing below you, and you don't want to test the theory of dying in the dream and wind up dead in real life.
Who cares?
Come on, if you fall and die in the dream, you'll die in real life. My friend's boyfriend almost died. Isn't that scary?
The puzzle element really comes into play when you look at the tower of blocks as a whole and plan your ascent. The way you push or pull blocks to create stairs or stable footing is imperative to progressing through each level, since falling or making a mistake can hinder your progress and lead to an untimely demise. There's also trap blocks, blocks that take longer to pull, and other hazards in the stages that increase the difficulty of each of the levels. Vincent himself can only move one block at a time, and though there do exist power-ups and extra items to use, the majority of the time the only thing you can rely on is your own ability to think ahead and decide just how you'll pull the blocks to ascend the tower. And I really enjoy that aspect of this game. I say Catherine is a puzzle game, and I'll stand by that, but it certainly doesn't feel like it. With the grotesque horrors of the tower surrounding him, Vincent's climb doesn't feel like a level-by-level puzzler. It feels like something more than that. And that's because of everything that happens when Vincent wakes up. During the day, Vincent's troubles only seem to get worse. He can't seem to remember hooking up with the blonde young Catherine with a C, and is scared his girlfriend, the other Catherine with a K, will find out. Plus, there's just one other thing bothering our protagonist.
I think I'm pregnant.
Things just keep getting worse for this guy. Living two lives all day is a little hard for Vincent, with one Catherine being a little tough.
Listen to me!
I'm listening.
And the other one being a little crazy.
You can live however you want, too. Just so long as you never think of cheating on me.
Feeling a little stressed, Vincent ends his day with a trip to the Stray Sheep bar to drink with his friends. While a lot of the story unfolds here and in other locations, here Vincent can socialize with the other bar patrons, who also have problems of their own. These characters aren't all as interesting as Vincent's friends, but some of them are funny and worth talking to.
We make business suits. Haven't you ever heard of Bantam suits?
Have you heard the jingle? You'll be the cock of the walk in a bantam.
While playing, it becomes obvious rather quickly that the sheep Vincent sees in his dream aren't just sheep granted the gift of the gab, they are his fellow patrons at the bar, and while none of them remember their dreams, it is worth talking to them and encouraging them here and in the dream world so they don't wind up as another statistic for the odd awakening deaths. The bar scene also allows Vincent to text the women in his life and respond to the messages that they send, if you choose to have him reply, that is. The responses, coupled with Vincent's responses to questions from other characters and to the questions in the confessionals and the nightmares, affect his inner monologue. While the main plot stays the same, this affects the ending of the game more than anything. What really makes Catherine special, aside from tricky puzzles, are these daytime and bar scenes where we really see the tormented troubles of Vincent. The poor sap's life just feels like it's falling apart, and his friends' efforts to cheer him up almost seem to be falling on deaf ears. It also doesn't help that the rumor that men who cheat are cursed is going around, which adds to Vincent's paranoia, even if he says he doesn't believe in such curses. Watching Vincent's life fall apart and his effort to make sense of everything, including why he can't remember sleeping with someone other than his girlfriend, is entertaining since you do start to feel kind of sorry for the guy. These well-acted and presented cutscenes in the bar and other locations with its kind of filmatic look really help make Catherine even better. It helps it stand as a game that's more than the sum of its parts, if you will. For the hardcore players, Catherine offers various difficulty settings, all of which have huge gaps between them. The difference between easy and normal, for example, is outstandingly huge. I've gotten stuck on areas for a while just racking my brain to figure out a way to manipulate the blocks in order to allow Vincent to advance. It's not always easy, that's for sure. Thankfully, Catherine is rather forgiving, with checkpoints in most stages and plentiful amounts of extra lives available at any time. Adapt climbers will be able to take on the extra challenge mode of Babel, or have Vincent play the game Rapunzel at the bar during the day, both of which function on the same level as the Nightmare stages, with Rapunzel only having limited moves rather than limited time. Both Rapunzel and Babel mode have their own incentives for playing and completing them, so they're worth your time to check out. Catherine's a game I've totally fallen in love with. I enjoy Vincent and his friends as characters, and the gameplay is addicting and challenging, but it's not crazy unforgiving. This is simply a game worth experiencing. With a ton of replay value, you'll be able to revisit it often and enjoy the game over and over again. And honestly, that's something I wish more games were able to offer. Find this game and let it tempt you into submission. You won't regret it.
What? You're cheating! Weren't you talking about marriage?
Why don't you say it louder? Seriously, stop yelling about cheating and shit. I think someone on Mars didn't quite hear you.
Oh, that's low, Vincent.